CARE brings together connectors and influential members of society to witness firsthand the potential of empowering women in developing nations. On this unique two-country learning tour, we visit two very different yet connected countries, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Joining us this time are Congressman Payne and his brother William Payne, Congressman Cohen and his State Director Randy Wade, Congressman McDermott and his Legislative Director Toby Whitney, Carla Coppell from USAID, Hannah Kay from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Michael Gerson, columnist for the Washington Post, and our learning tour host Jody Winterhoff. Together we set off to explore how both countries have addressed family health, governance, and gender equity issues since the devastating Rwanda genocide of 1994.
First of all, nothing will have been possible without the peace and security we have. You don't think about saving women across bullets.
We get the maternal and child health landscape from Rwanda Minister of Health, Agnes Bingwaho.
In 2009, maternal and child health was decided as a priority, and it was a priority for all the governments.
The Chinese say every journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. It's important for members of Congress to travel and see, not only to see where our money is going, but what the private sector is doing and how the partnerships are developing in countries like Rwanda.
We've traveled 2.5 hours from Kigali, and as you can see, 1.5 hours has been in a very rural area, remote area. The people we are seeing on the roads and the people that live in this community are the people we are serving. We work in this rural setting to really be able to address the health need of the people that are most vulnerable, like we are seeing.
Partnership between the government, non-governmental organizations, and donors is attainable.
Much of the program is conducted by Rwandese in their country or Congolese in their country, and so we're developing human capital.
We travel into the hills where CARE is working with mothers on early childhood development.
They are farmers, so they live by farming, by agriculture only. That is why they go every day to the field. Before the program, the children used to go to the field with their mothers, and they used to disturb their mothers at the field, crying.
Chronic malnutrition affects half the young children in Rwanda.
Igizwe na soya, ibigori, amasaka n'isukari.
Without this early start, we know that without the early start, they will not develop to what they can be. So this is a very important kind of program.
To reinforce U.S. government's commitment to Rwanda, the delegation met with women parliamentarians and Prime Minister Bernard Makuza.
I think the most important thing is to come and see what is happening in Rwanda since 1994. I think to see and to exchange with the population is very important.
Joyful singing welcomes us into Eastern Congo. Joining us, U.S. Ambassador to the DRC, James Entwistle.
So I've had the privilege of working with CARE in Africa, in Asia, in conflict zones like the DRC and in Cambodia. And I've been a huge fan of CARE for a long time. I'm delighted to see them bring out U.S. congressmen to help them understand the realities in a place like the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has tremendous potential, but right now the needs on the security and humanitarian fronts are overwhelming.
I think people really need to know how dire some people have it on their everyday existence.
The most important message is that despite the fact that we are officially in a stabilized phase, now a huge part of the population still is displaced. There's huge needs here, and it has to be more like a longer-term investment. These 8-month projects, you can't really have an impact. You can't really work on the whole governance issue here.
If we can achieve this election in 2 months' time without fighting again, we have got the free 5 years of development. But if we begin again to kill one another because of the lack of good election, we'll go backwards.
The spirit of the people here is unbelievable. They are moving forward.
It's always encouraging to come on these trips. You meet extraordinary people, even in the worst circumstances. And it's kind of an honor to take their side in this kind of struggle.
And to see what the empowerment of women really does is the kind of thing that you just can't get from reading. You can feel it when you're in the place.
The beginning of any more successful society comes when mothers can take care of their children and their children can grow up and be educated.
Women in both Rwanda and in the Democratic Republic of Congo are critical contributors and important leaders. It's wonderful to meet these inspiring women with incredible stories who are really driving forward progress for their communities, for their homes, and for their countries.
There are extraordinary people wherever you go, and that organizations like the U.S. government, like NGOs, CARE, and others, when they help them to transform their communities, they really help to transform whole societies.